Puran or Shiv Puran, they are all Puranas. But Ramayana, Bhagavata are called Itihasa. So there was Rama in India, there was Lakshmana, there was Dashratha, there was Sita, there were Pandavas, there were Duryodhana, there was Mahabharata. Even now, sufficient geographical evidences are there. Since I had initiated that Ram Setu movement, I had a document from British Library, London. It was in 17th century map of Hindustan. At the time it was called Hindustan map. And there is a mention of Ram Setu. And while teaching Mahabharata, I said there in Mahabharata also there is a mention of Ram Setu. The Ghatotkacha visits Sri Lanka and he sees Ram Setu of the 5 Pandavas. Sahadeva goes to Rameshwaram and performs puja and sees Ram Setu and does puja. And NASA had published a map. They have accepted that there is some construction not seen out above the water surface, water level, but under the water, connecting these two places. And even now when you go there, at a certain point, it is hardly 2 feet deep. You can walk in the middle of the ocean. There is a structure all the way connected. And in the archaeological data of the 15th, 16th century, therefore we don't have much beyond history. Transmigration, transshipping means the ships coming from Arab countries will come to this side of the Ram Setu and through bullock cart they will transfer to this side and the other ship will carry to Calcutta. Those mentions are there. Our Indian Archaeological Society has those documents. Then I had done that research also. So it's a history. And it's a history. Since it's a history, that's a fact for us that Rama was born in Ayodhya. Now, we Hindus look upon Rama as a god. That's their mentions in Shastra. But the cultural aspect of it is Rama is a symbol of Hindu cultural religious values, embodiment of it. The whole culture values, religious values, and thereby social values, everything. All that is are personified by Rama. He is culturally a hero. And all characters of Ramayana also are like that. That's our hero. They're ideals for Hindus. So you cannot have Hindu culture and Indian Bharat society without Rama and Krishna. They are like that prana, apana, vayu. He is breathing in, breathing out. You cannot have it. And historically, 15th century, it is there up to 14th century, 12th century, travelers talking about Ayodhya. Even before Pandavas, there is a mention in Mahabharata that Ayodhya was a capital of India written by some Ikshvaku kings. That is their mention in Mahabharata. So many kings ruled there, Puru Vamsha Rajana. So when you have that cultural values, our whole entire culture is like that. So there is a tremendous value for Rama and anything that belongs to Rama. Ayodhya is accepted as a birthplace. And the, the place where we are going to do this Bhumi Pujanam is the capital where Rama was born. But town is Ayodhya, and that place is that Mahal, that place where there was a palace of King Dashratha, where Rama was born. In 1528 or 22 something, one commander of Babur called Mir Banki demolished that temple. This is all because of the confusion among Muslims that Hindus are idol worshippers. As I said, we have also bought that we are idol worshippers. In earlier classes, Upadesh Saram, I have dealt this in detail. We are not idol worshippers, especially Western people living in Western world should know this. More so Hindus. Tell this to your children. We are not idol worshippers, we are God worshippers. We don't worship idols. But they thought, and therefore, according to their theology, we are kafirs, and they have a mandate from the God to destroy those places of worship, of idol worshippers, and they destroyed and created a mosque. And that time they killed so many priests and brahmanas and men and women, and a lot of killings were done there. Since then, out of sentiments, and it is proper to have sentiments. There is some emotional values that Hindus always wanted. Many things you cannot look into that mundane way, like our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, had established a place called Gandhi Ashram in Ahmedabad. Now, government cannot decide today. Okay, Gandhi Ashram is now, it was out of the city limits then. This Gandhi Ashram is now in the midst of the city and there is traffic issues and roads are narrow. Let us take it outside the city and sell this land and make money to maintain Gandhi Ashram. You can't. There is sentimental value. There is an emotional value. So also you cannot build a temple in Makkah or Vatican. Much less you can build a mosque in Vatican. It is sentimental value. The Hindus had, and out of that they have been fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting all the time. And so many riots have taken place in 18. I have seen some documents in 17th century, 18th century. And just before the first independence movement of 1857, those who know Indian history, in 1852 they had broken the structure like now. And the British divide and rule, they repaired it and kept it to Muslims. After independence also the movement was going on since 49, the cases have been going on. And that was pending. So many lives have been martyred. I would use the word martyred for Bhagavan. So much of resources and manpower and even women power, all have been surrendered to that and nothing has happened. But this government had a political will to keep the record straight. I was very much involved in the High Court case, the State High Court case in Allahabad. When they had nothing to argue, they said, let us have archaeological proof. We will not go by belief. By the way, their granthas also accept that this is but town of Rama. They accept. But we don't want to give this place to you. And they have not been worshipping there. Just simple. Like that Wailing Wall in Israel for no reason. So archaeologically, they survey they are doing and they say, no, we don't trust Indian archaeologists because they are Hindus. It happened the chief ASI head was Hindu and people. So they said, let's have different. So we had called international renowned archaeologists, one from Canada and Australia and all that. They did. While they were doing excavation, the laborers were Hindus because it's a technical job. It is not digging a pit for planting a tree. We want Muslims there. We don't trust them. Finally, they all delay techniques. Finally, they gave a report, it is Hindus. Still, the judgment was not unanimous. Then the case went to Supreme Court and they said that we had submitted some 40,000 documents. They said they should be translated in Urdu. We want in Urdu. And no state government took up, and Yogi ji came and the first job was assigned to him. He translated and gave them. They could have got themselves translated, but they refused to do. And Supreme Court, to be just, they said, okay, we will give you. My point is, unless there is a political will by the ruler, nothing can be solved. This government had a political will and they pushed it. And finally, Supreme Court gave a judgment that this land belongs to Hindus and there was a Rama temple. So it's really I have no adjective to tell what kind of event it is. It is going to turn the history. And I am blessed, or chosen one, from many, that I'll be one of the one who will be doing this personally. Totally only 200 guests are allowed because of Corona. When they will make it a public function, I think it will be not less than 4 to 5 crores of people. And because of security also, high danger to Prime Minister threats. And out of those 200, there are 60, 70 dignitaries like Advaniji who fought, and people RSS and BHP office bearers and trust. And since Ayodhya, local sadhus have taken away 40, 50 passes. So out of some 70, 80 across India. And India has some 28 states. So each state can maximum 2.5 to 3. I happened to got in the first go. Some Guru Krupa, some Ishwar Krupa, grace is flowing. Whatever little work we have done, but we will have that opportunity, rarest opportunity to do some puja and witness. Of course, the first brick will be put by the Prime Minister and then trustees and things like that. Advani, those who have done a lot. Kalyan Singh, then Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, and present one Yogi ji, and all that. There will be a hierarchy, but that's a very rare opportunity. So, all my well-wishers and devotees and my people who are concerned, they will love me. They all wanted that I should not go out of the ashram at all. Now and then they call me, Swamiji, where are you? You are not traveling. I hope you're okay, blah, blah. But when it came to this, they said, Swamiji, you may go, but please be careful. None of them said you should not go. They said, you are so blessed and lucky that you got this appointment. Please be careful. Take this medicine, and we have their headgear and this and that. And so I'm living on 4th, and it's going to be very, what you can say, high profile event. Who's who, and then sitting arrangement also, some 6 meter away chairs. So I don't know whether you will see me in the TV also. Because political dignitaries all will be in the front, and as usual, I will be the face in the crowd in such functions. But then I am sure I'll get an opportunity to do some puja. So I'm leaving on 4th, early morning, 4 o'clock, something, 4:30, and returning on 6th. I'm yet to book my ticket, return ticket. I had some meetings in Delhi, and one of them was with Amit Bhai and all. Unfortunately, one bad news for you today, Amit Bhai has a light symptoms of corona. He has been hospitalized, but the press release is a very light of symptoms. That meeting got postponed. So I postponed all other meetings. So I was to fly from there to Delhi, and then via Delhi after 2 days. 8th I was to return. But maybe I return on the 6th itself. And some Swamis may come here because those who wanted the meeting, I said, let's go to Rajkot and have meeting. So I'll be back on 6th just for 2 nights. I'll be there in Ayodhya. There is a saying in the Shastra, there are moksha puris. The city, the most, you can say, most pious cities, those can give you moksha, seat of scholars and etc. One of them is Ayodhya. The two, very pious, sacred place to be. The river Saryu, like Ganga and all that. There's a mention of it in Veda also. And by the way, just for information, Rama is mentioned in Vedas. So you cannot question me, how can it be history? Since Veda mentions, and it mentions Rama as Bhagavan. And just for information, just one thing I can tell you and explain. That Mahamantra, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It's a part of one Upanishad called Kalisantarana Upanishad. That Upanishad which helps you to swim, cross over the ocean of samsara. In that it appears. Our dear ISKCON guys have modified that mantra. They have emotional problem. Mantra is Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then second line is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. No Krishna first. They said Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Then Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. These are all psychological problems. So Rama is mentioned there in Vedas. Is mentioned in Vedas. So it's a history for us, and happy to be part of the new history. And I promise that I will pray for all. Okay, all those who have sacrificed and all those who are now wanting to go and wanting to pray, which includes all of you. I'm going to pray. We'll be back. That's all it is about this. Okay? Namaste.